had a passion for radio, and I reached out, and here I am today, a part of the Power team. Power 95 for me is not just a radio station, not just about music, it's a family, it's a movement, and to be here celebrating 10 years with Power, it is a great feeling. As a youth, I'm happy to be here celebrating 10 with Power, and I'm looking forward for many more years and to spread my wings in the radio industry.
10 years loud, proud, and trusted. Power 95, a decade strong.
Yet, I'm still listening to that station. I'm proud of 95.1, the morning show, the midday show with Arona, the evening show, the nighttime show is the best in the island. Yeah? So we want to wish Power 95.1 a happy 10 years.
10 years loud, proud, and trusted. Power 95, a decade strong.
Coming up, so you better get this party started.
Snappy, one of the youngest members on the Power 95 team. I started working on Power 95 like 2 years ago when I started my college life. I actually made a decision to work while I'm in school, and it was actually successful for me. Yeah, I used to balance both school and work. I spent 2 years in college. I graduated. After I graduated, I spoke to the boss. She asked me what I wanted to do with my future and on radio and what I want to do and stuff. And then I made a decision to actually choose radio first, and then she put me to work full time. And during that time, I gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience from guys like Scratchmaster, Menace, Double L, Fearless Capon. The names goes on and on and on. It's all members of the team working together, and they showed me a lot and showed me how the industry is run, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the Power 95 team as well for really accepting me and showing me love. As a youth, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be on Power 95 and a part of the Power 95 team, and also celebrating 10 years with Power 95. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. And also, in the future, I'm looking forward to learning and gaining a lot of knowledge with the team.
10 years loud, proud, and trusted. Power 95, a decade strong.
And we're back. And we're back for yet another Wednesday, November 26th. It is the final Wednesday in the month of November. And of course, we definitely have to make it count. Like we said, we're definitely counting down the days till Christmas. So Christmas clock has been activated, and we are well on our way to our favorite time of the year. Yep, 28 days, that's what we're working with until it's Christmas. And like I told you this morning, it's going to be a busy day in the city today to cruise ship in port. So if you can use alternative route, that will definitely work for you to ease up the congestion in the city. if you choose to walk with your patience, you're going to need it, right? Nonetheless, thank you so much, Nirvana Spa and Detox, Beacon Insurance, Western Union, Harry Edwards Jewelers, for making it happen once again. And not forgetting Power 95, we're getting ready to celebrate on December 6th at the Port Louis Lawn. We're talking a decade, 10 years of powering the nation. And looking forward to having you guys celebrate with us. Our artist friends or power DJs will be there, and looking forward to seeing you. All right, so it's gonna be a good one, as always when we throw a power event. So looking forward to having you guys there. So, like I said, we have a special guest this morning. Before we bring him up on the screen, you know, quickly time flies. We got to keep it pushing. Let me just say good morning to our listeners on Radio 95.1, 95.3. If you are viewing the live stream now on Facebook and YouTube, welcome, 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 everybody. And for those of you listening via the Power app, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you have not done so as yet, please do download the Power app. Go to your Google Play Store, your App Store on your iPhones, and look for Power 95 FM Grenada. And that way you get to take us with you wherever you go. Good morning, Don. Hey, Shante, thank you so much for sharing the live. Please come on in because we've got a very, very important conversation ahead of us. Eunice and Joseph, who else is here? Vanessa St. John, Riggy. Good morning, Jenilyn and everybody. Tamasha, shout out Skypox on YouTube. Roxanne Scott, Trisha, AGAds, come on in, guys. And as you do, please click the share button, hit the share button. Let's see the folks in Canada, the UK, the US, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Shout out to my friend Pigtail in Saudi Arabia. You big up yourself. Melvin Brown in the DMV. Stacy John, Kimberly, Clarina, good morning. Donna, shout out Debbie Crony. Debbie, you were missing from the class yesterday. Do better, all right? Yeah. Yvette James, I see everybody just coming in. But like I said, we've got a very, very special guest back in the room with us. Morning, Gabby. How's Barcelona? If you're enjoying every bit of it. Della Fletcher, morning. Hey, Giselle Franklin. Leisha Duncan. And everybody else tuned in to the vibe. Alright, got you. Alrighty, so we are definitely about to get into the conversation this morning. And once again, let me just say good morning, Grenada. Good morning, Carrico, PG Martinique. And today we've got a very special guest joining us again, Mr. Randall Dolland, the project sponsor of Project 500. And of course, you know, that is a groundbreaking initiative that aims to revolutionize affordable housing here in Grenada. So again, let me say a special welcome to Mr. Dolland. Welcome back to the room. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's always good to be back. Great to be back in the room. And again, good morning, good afternoon to some of your listeners, depending on where you're tuning in from. Also, compliments for the season.
Of course.
You know, start of the holiday season, at least in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thanksgiving and all of that.
Thanksgiving tomorrow, and then we coming right into the Christmas season. And Grenada is always a great place to be for Christmas.
The U.S. Christmas, listen, I did it and it sucks. I swear. Like,
can't take the cold?
Thanksgiving is like a bigger
Yeah, it
deal
is.
than
It
Christmas.
is.
Christmas, everybody just go about their business, who going to work, who chilling. You have to be from like a real Grenadian household to be.
Yeah, because that's actually shocked me as well when I was in the U.S. because the fact is Thanksgiving is their collective holiday. So it doesn't matter what religion you are, you celebrate Thanksgiving. So it's their biggest holiday, where Christmas is still a Christian holiday. So then everyone else sort of went along their business.
Yeah.
But I love the fact, and I think that's what makes all Christmas so special, right?
course.
We're all bought in, we're all tuned in, we're all aligned. We're looking forward to the food, the drinks, the company.
drinks, yeah.
And it's always just a great time to be with family and friends. And there's something magical in the air at Christmas.
Yeah, it's just a different vibe. You know,
Absolutely.
it's just a different kind of energy. You know, people are smiling more, and you know, the place is bustling.
Yes.
People shopping, and you know, the decorations. I really love that. I really love Christmas for that. So we're looking forward to having a wonderful season. So let's get right into it, and maybe we can start at the beginning for those listening. Can you tell us what Project 500 is and why it's such an important government initiative?
Yeah, so Project 500, again, as you mentioned, very important government initiative, part of our plans for the that was outlined in the manifesto of the party. And that is to revolutionize housing, make it more affordable, sustainable, desirable. Build also reduce the time of construction, remove some of the hassle that comes with construction. You know, many times we've complained about construction process in Grenada on the island. It takes maybe 9-10 months to build a house, and that's just to really get it up and running, right? You're not talking about the little finishing, the little details. Sometimes that takes, a substantial amount of time more. So the whole idea is to come up with a pilot to understand how we could make housing more affordable by testing newer building solutions, methods that are not traditional to Grenada. So I repeat, it's not that they're new methods, it's just that they're not traditional to Grenada. So these systems have existed elsewhere. These are sort of like modular systems you can put together using either the ICF, you can use SIP panels, you can use like gauge steel, and many other solutions. And we're now testing it all at a site in Dunfermline where we built 17 homes along 10 different models. And now we're at the stage where we've completed that. This process took just over a year to complete all of this, well, close to completion of the 17 homes. And building that community, we include building infrastructure, because you have to understand the importance of building a neighborhood for the future, meaning you have wide enough roads, you have sidewalks, you have proper drainage, driveways that are properly paved, because we want to deal with issues of parking. We don't want individuals needing to park on the street when they come to their home. And also we're building a recreational space. So it is designed to give a very comfortable lifestyle, elevate your standard of living while providing you with a very safe, environmentally sound and sustainable sanctuary.
So before we go more into details regarding Dunfermline and all of that, as the project sponsor though, what inspired you to take on this role?
That's a great question, and I think it's because it comes back to the opportunity that we had, the opportunity to come back to Grenada to serve. So I've spent almost 10 years in the United States, in New York City, selling real estate. And that's a very tough market. It's one of the toughest in the world, most competitive in the world. And going in as a brand new immigrant, I had to learn from ground up. And that just means I had to work harder, outwork my competition, and get to the point where I was trusted by my clients to give me the responsibility to oversee one of the largest transactions they will be doing in their lifetime, or if they were a developer, trusting us with the inventory to sell it. And in that process, I was able to learn a lot about customer needs, demand, the psychology of real estate, as well as giving valuable feedback to the developers who were developing homes and trying to, of course, maximize value. So we would give them the feedback such as, this is what the customers are looking for. Your clientele, your demographic would skew this way. Therefore, we need to put accommodations for them that way, because that is what they're going to be looking for. So ideal closet space, they're going to be ideally coming with a certain amount of children, maybe a space for an in-law or grandparent, etc. And that feedback we were able to then, it was valuable because those developers were able to use that to maximize the prices and returns. So dealing with architects, dealing with even the New York City Department of Buildings, it gave me a lot of experience in terms of working through very hard systems as well. And now that I had an opportunity to serve with this administration, the idea was to come back and try to give back, try to build a project that could be that could leave a long-lasting legacy, especially if we're trying to change our culture, but more importantly, empower our own people.
I was about to ask you, how do you see this project affecting Grenadian lives in the long term?
Well, that's the point, and that's why it's the sense of trying to serve with a sense of purpose, because it's really about empowering our people, giving them the ability to build homes more affordably, quickly, because we understand that Grenada is prone to all external shocks, and we know for a fact that construction takes its toll. And the cost of construction continues to increase almost every year. The price per square foot continues to go up. I'm sure you know a lot of people who own land in Grenada, but they can't afford to build.
Can't afford to build. The land is just sitting there.
The land is just sitting there and it sits there for years. and they're still trying to figure out, well, how do we get to the point where we can build? This project is to reduce the cost of building, making it efficient, and by reducing the cost of building, we're now putting it in the range where you're able to afford to build a home.
Now, let's talk about how this project is structured and what makes it unique compared to all other housing projects you would hear about.
Well, again, this project is unique because we're testing solutions, newer solutions. We understand that the environment is getting more hostile to us. And therefore, we have to build for stronger hurricanes. We just had, for 2 consecutive years, we had historical storms, right? Beryl was a historic storm by forming that early, that low, and that strong at that time of year. We just had Melissa that just ravaged Jamaica with very high sustained winds, something that we've probably never seen before. It's expected that those are going to get worse. That means that every time we build, we cannot wait for these disasters to occur where we have to rebuild or build back constantly. We have things like earthquakes, all those things that we have to consider. We know the limitations of concrete. We know the limitations of some wood products. So right now we're trying to use different types of methodologies of that building to make these structures stronger, give them more structural integrity, also build for events like flooding, etc. But how it's structured is that once we have fully assessed these building methods, once we fully assessed the floor plans, once we've gotten the feedback from tours that we'll be holding shortly at the site, the government will ultimately decide the path forward. And in doing so, we have different ways for individuals to participate. Either they could buy within a community that we've developed. If the government could also go buy other land, additional land, to continue to do more development, develop on Crown land. We could also partner with private individuals or entities that may have land to develop, or we will build on your land, which is called a Category D, which is very popular. And that gives the option for all of those individuals who are unable to build right now their own land, is to try to build the cost, bring that price range of owning a home, make it more of a reality for them.
And of course, for younger people to start owning
That is correct.
homes, and not wait until you're almost up the road and you have to spend the rest of your life repaying, mortgages and what have you.
That's correct. Because the idea is, again, in the empowerment part of this project, is really about you creating wealth, creating a desirable location to raise your family. Because again, now, your home is a very personal purchase, right? And that means it's very emotional. There's a lot of emotion that comes with it. And we have to make sure that we're able to give you a proper roof over your head, not just shelter, but a very comfortable style of living where you're proud to live in that. That's correct. You're proud to live in that. Not because it's a government-run initiative means that it should not look great. And that's the difference. Not only do these homes look very good, they're also very energy efficient.
Yeah, I was about to ask that because, we hear a lot about climate smart features.
That's correct.
And, mechanized construction. So how do these innovations improve affordability, sustainability, and, of course, comfort for the residents?
Well, we want to start thinking again. When we start thinking in future, long term, the Prime Minister just recently mentioned about the fact that we're trying to wean off, all the fossil fuels that we have to use to power our plants. It means that we need to start doing the same of getting rid of fossil fuels that power our home. So now you're getting a home with solar panels, in a sense that you can start. You don't have to use as much energy from the grid for power. So that's going to bring your power costs down. When you're using energy efficient features with water, etc., it reduces your water bill. When you have homes that are built with proper insulation, it also reduces your electric bill because you don't have to cool it. You don't have to pay that much for cooling. And those are small details that we're factoring in here because we don't traditionally build with insulation.
No.
That's why you look at some walls in your home and the walls are heating up to a certain temperature. You have to use air conditioned units to keep your home cool. And granted, the world is getting hotter. So how do we mitigate that? How do we ensure that when you do walk into a home, it stays cool, or the heat quickly leaves once you open a window or so, and it sort of retains that proper room temperature, that desirable room temperature that you would want. So that's sort of a lot of the methodologies that we're looking at, because those little things those costs start adding up when you think about excessive water bill, energy, and power bill. That's just money that you can keep in your pocket in the longer term, just because you have a more futuristic, energy efficient house.
Someone is saying water harvesting as well.
That's correct.
Okay.
Because and that's how we have to start thinking about all of this now. All of the rainwater harvesting, all of that moving forward. We have to be build more sustainably and to live with our natural environment.
So, in terms of the Dunfermline pilot project, where does it stand now, and what have been the key lessons so far from it?
So most of the houses all of the houses are standing. Some of them just need to be completed. I know we do have an ICF model on the SIP panel that still just needs to be covered up. We did have some delays with some shippings, which is one of the lessons that we're learning, is that we're prone again to the delays of stock and inventory coming in once it's needed. So we have to pretty much assess, how do we move forward from here? Lessons learned. We understand that we have to start making more things on island, creating more reliable pathways for or to import all of the products that we would need, essentially. So the supply chain has to be running a lot more smoother, and we could achieve that when we start accomplishing economies of scale. And that's part of how we'll make this affordable. So when I speak about affordability, the specific units that stand at Dunfermline right now, that price might be a little bit more than if we were building, let's say, 15, 20, 50 of those homes. Because now we're able to bring them in bulk. And by bringing in bulk, everyone benefits from that vast discount, essentially. And so that is a direction that we're looking to move forward with. The other part that we're learning is that we have to upskill our labor force. So we pair them with the foreign workforce that came in some instances, to show them, well, this is how you operate some of the tools. This is how you build using this equipment. And that just sort of started upskilling them. So a lot of it comes back to upskilling and ensuring that you do have a reliable workforce. Because the idea of this project as well is to give the customer options, to give contractor options. So you have a wider plethora to choose from in terms of building traditionally with wood or with blocks, or you can go with light gauge steel or a SIP panel or some other medium that might be more cost effective for you, and keeping it cost effective because of the fact that the government essentially is supporting these other initiatives to build in that fashion.
So why is the assessment stage so crucial, and what can the public expect once it's completed?
Well, assessment stage is crucial because, again, this is a project for the people. So the people need to make decisions on the direction of the next steps of the project. That means that once we are doing the assessments, we are going to bring you to the site. You will get a chance to look at the homes, walk through the homes, and we will be able to collect the data and evaluate it. Once we're able to evaluate the data, we can then make final decisions as to the direction of the project, meaning which homes we're going to keep and which we may not, which building styles, methods we're going to keep and which we may not. And again, that consideration has to go into how easy it is to bring somebody's material in, what delays we may issue if we're using those materials, and also how do we ensure that the labor force is skilled enough to work with those materials, deliver a timely product using that as well.
Of course, at the heart of Project 500 are the Grenadians it will serve, right?
That's correct.
So let's talk about the community impact.
Well, the community impact is great. I mean, especially if you're building an entire new neighborhood with all new infrastructure, all new homes to give you a proper living and elevate your lifestyle. And again, with the Dunfermline, once that's finished, we're looking at a phase 2, which is also the other side of the current pilot, where we may build over 60 homes. We're looking at other areas like Bocheju, and there are other areas of land that we're considering, and also category D, as we mentioned, building on your private homes. So once we're able to bring more homes, more developments to the country with housing that's made more affordable, that's economically aligned with your pocket and your budget, then essentially we stimulate the economy. Am I stimulating the economy? We're looking at getting the banks, credit unions involved, insurance companies involved, because what you're essentially doing is not just providing shelter for your family, but again, it's money circulating in the economy because it employs more people, a greater workforce, a more trained and skilled workforce that we would need. And again, it's just an overall win of economic activity and increase in GDP.
Who will benefit most from Project 500? And, how is affordability being maintained without compromising quality?
Well, that's why we're looking at the different methods. And then we're looking at a plethora of all opportunities of types of housing that we are now currently assessing, right? From Build Back Better to some of the homes we're doing in Karakou to Project 500 itself. And ultimately, what we will look at doing is creating a comprehensive plan to determine, okay, these are some of the things that we can move forward with. These are the initiatives we can move forward with specifically. And that means understanding what price points, the final price points are, and especially if we scale it. Now, granted, a house could only cost so much money. Just like a car in most cases, right? Certain type of cars are going to cost so much money. So it's not, in some instances, we have to taper expectations. But what is important is that we're bringing, if we are able to reduce the cost as much as possible, then we're able to bring it aligned to your economic ability to purchase a home.
Now, in terms of people who may be interested in obtaining one of those homes, what will the process be like?
Well, the process is that you sign up on our website, project500.gd. Let's stay in touch with our socials, get information, but it's important to sign up because what would happen is that we're going to be starting tours on Friday.
This Friday.
But it's not everyone just come and show up at their convenience. It has to be by appointment only because the tours have to be guided. And obviously, if everybody decides to show up at the same time, then we're unable to actually conduct a tour because you have to have someone explain to you, this is what you're looking at. This house was built using this method. This is the type of floor plan. And more importantly, here are the forms for you to give the feedback that we would require and the policy makers would require for them to make decisions on moving this project forward. So the evaluation stage is very important, but we also have to do it very orderly as well. So you would have to sign up and then we will have to then make contact with you to then advise you as to what times or dates or so that you may be available so you can come to site to do that. So we're working through all of that now because we do have thousands of individuals.
So you don't want it to be like an open house where everybody.
It cannot be just an open house where
Oh.
everybody shows up at this point, not yet, because we still have to do the very key evaluations. And the key evaluating part of getting that information from the public, that means it has to be done in a very orderly fashion. So we're working on getting that done now. That process has started. So those going Friday, they've already been contacted. They're going to be going to the site. And we're going to start that process starting now, moving it forward.
Okay, so but from the first one will be this
Friday, where we've started. We did say we wanted to start in November, but of course, with all the weather that we've been getting, it created a little bit more delay than expected. And in addition to that, when you are showing up, you want to make sure the site is very safe for
and
the
it has to be
elderly
appealing because that's the first
and the
thing when
young.
you walk in, you see the
And that is
visuals
correct.
is important.
It is very important to make sure that the sites isn't appealing. The homes, I mean, without any doubt, the homes will be impressive. We've seen that the feedback that we've gotten so far has been very good.
How many different models are we looking at?
We have 17 homes, about 10 different models.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thought it was like 2 or 3.
No, we have quite a bit that you could look at and you could look to choose from. And they all, and some of them, they all use, well, not all of them, but they'll use again a different type of building methods as well. So it's a proper evaluation, and this was all done in just like over a year, right? I'm talking about all of the infrastructure, drainage, all of that, and then getting these homes built and completed. So there's a lot of work that happened, and I really want to take this opportunity to commend the Housing Authority and the staff that works tirelessly on this project day in, day out to bring this to fruition.
All right. So again, someone asking about more information. Like I said, project500.gd.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go to the website. They're asking if you have models on there as well.
Yes, we do. Yeah, everything is on their website. and you can get updates on there, and then you can see also follow our socials for current updates, etc. So once you go onto the website, all that information is right there.
All right.
And then you can make contact with the team on the website. You can sign up there as well. You could describe which category you're interested in, if you want to live on a development in one of our new neighborhoods, or if you will be interested in building on your own land, if you do have the land.
Yeah, someone was just asking if you can expound a bit on that, the different categories of home.
Right, categories of homes. Yeah, so I mean, they're all on the website, meaning, and they're all named. They all have different names, like the bay leaf, cinnamon, clove, ginger. They're all there. So you can take your time and you can go through all of them. They range from 2 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms, different styles of layout, the floor plan designs, and they're all designed by Grenadians.
Fantastic.
So that's I think that's also helpful, because again, with the Prime Minister's mandate, we wanted Grenadian style homes. We want to make it conducive for Grenadian style living. So we made sure that have a nice yard. In this case, in the Dunfermline project, you're looking at about over 4,500 square feet lots across the project. And that's the sort of the lifestyle that we want to maintain for everyone.
Approximately how many homes that particular lot can accommodate?
Well, one home, because again, if you're looking at a 1,100 square foot home, you still have enough adequate space around your lot, and then you also have like your driveway considerations and all of that.
Now, for those who have their, someone is asking, for someone like me who have my own land, and he was correct saying I purchased my land a very long time ago and I'm having a hard time building because of the cost. When will things be put in place so you can get more information with that?
So sign up on the website and sign up for Category D. And then what will happen is that we will be rolling out teams, which we already started, crews already started going out and assessing the lands. But then I think also, just to also make a point as well, is that it's important that we are going to understand the cost of building these homes, but then we have to evaluate the land as well, right? Because if you're living on the side of a mountain, for example, you have to then figure out building a driveway there, building all other infrastructure, and bring everything up there as well, which would be the total cost to build on your land. So all those things need to be assessed. And then also a crucial point is as much as the government is working to make these homes affordable and as desirable, energy efficient as possible, with all the bells and whistles, the public also has to get ready to make that purchase. And I think this is like a part that, as a real estate agent in New York for so many years, it was always guiding my clients about, we have to be ready to make this purchase. So that means that you have to go to a lending institution and they have to want to lend you the money. So how are we preparing for that? How are we preparing to get ready to get a loan so we could have a home of our dreams? Start accomplishing that.
Have a conversation with your lending institution.
Yeah, you have to start getting ready for that. I mean, do you show income? Because sometimes you say we get paid cash, right? And I mean, sometimes, and these are conversations that are coming up now. Now that we're having this national conversation about how do we prepare ourselves to build wealth? How do we leverage what we have? Do we have assets that we can then leverage to build? Now, you may have equity in your land, so you can then put that in. The bank will say, okay, fine, we'll lend you against that, the value of the home. But there's so many ways of trying to do it. And I think that's where we now have to really start being very conscious and intentional about preparing ourselves for that. Because if you never show if you never show formal source of income, and you just have cash, and you don't have a history of it, then we show up and it's like, I want to buy one of these homes, but how would you do that?
And I'm sure you hear a lot of that. I want one of those homes.
You hear a lot of that, but that's what I'm saying, is that we have to now collectively start, talking about the financial responsibility. Prime Minister again has some of these programs running, as well some other ministers that talk about financial responsibility. And this is why this is very important part. It's a very important part of it, because again, a home could be a vehicle to building wealth, longer term wealth, generational wealth in some instances, right? Not just immediate shelter. But we have to now position ourselves to do that. So even when I look at some of our tourism stakeholders, I explain the importance of not seeing what you're doing every day as a hustle, but also it's a business. You're building a business now. And you need to start showing revenue, start showing that, setting yourself up to the bank and be like, that's a responsible individual, we could give that person a loan.
And that is super important. And I know it's something that a lot of people did not get the opportunity from an early age to, understand finances, and of course in the long term how it can benefit and how you can, secure yourself and set yourself up for success. You just go through thing, you probably save a little thing there and you spend it back, and then
Correct.
so I think that these programs are super, super important, especially as we now have a younger, more youthful
That's correct.
population. So if we can get off to a better start than a lot of people had then, like you said, generational wealth, building that, it's very, very, very important.
Because if we start there, especially with the youth, you made a very important point. You let them know that, what, in some instances, you may need a down payment. Do you have that? You may say, well, I have money. I make good money every month. But have you put aside money for down payment? Have you put aside savings for to do what you have to do? And then you want to buy a house, and then you want to have nice furniture as well. So how are we thinking about all of that moving forward? And again, it's conversations that we have to start having now.
Yes, someone says the Project 500 will not be free, because many times you hear government and projects, people start thinking it's going to be, at a way, way, way lower price.
Well, I think, and the other housing programs and initiatives that exist. I mean, there's also the Chinese homes that exist for 55,000 and 75,000 for a 3-bedroom. I think 55 for a 2-bedroom, for example, right? There's social housing that also exists. But the thing is, this is not just an opportunity for the government to just say, here's our taxpayers' money and just have free homes for everybody. This is the ability to make it affordable for individuals to have a home, be financially responsible. We're giving you that opportunity that you could then upskill, level up, essentially, as we would say, that you can have an opportunity to buy a home because the prices are much lower, more attainable, because the state can sustain building a house for free and then give us roads, give us everything else and all the infrastructure that we need for free. Essentially, that's not necessarily a sustainable model until we find oil.
That's what we do, like Guyana,
Exactly.
like every citizen getting whatever.
a lot of oil.
A lot of oil. Someone is asking, if someone is interested in a house, can they give their design under this particular Project 500, or is it separate something?
Well, right now we're just going to be evaluating the models as of this time, because we still have to then evaluate the models and then ultimately decide on the next steps. So maybe a step or two down the road, we could probably look at that. But that's a good question, because if we have, or when we have more contractors or more skilled labor force that could build with these other materials a lot faster, more efficiently, then your design is probably going to get, or hopefully cheaper, because they're not using the regular brick and mortar, because we know those prices per square foot, where they are, and we know they're not attainable. So the idea is, again, have these methods a little bit cheaper, more cost effective, in the sense that it also saves time, because there's a time value of money, meaning that when you cannot move into your house after 8 months and the contractor's still there and you're still paying the bank because you took a mortgage out to start the project and all of that, you still have to live somewhere else. There's also a time value to all of that as well.
Someone is asking, what about people in the diaspora? How can they take advantage of this?
Well, this whole idea is that, it's for those who are in need first, primarily. And there's policy that's being discussed right now to define who gets to take part. Now, granted, I just want to put it out there, right? It's not necessarily for people in the diaspora to have more affordable home, a second home, right? It's really for Grenadians who do not have the means or the reach to purchase a home for themselves right now.
Okay.
So that is a market that we primarily have to serve right now. As things develop and progress, we can see where that lands, but it's not necessarily like a second home or investment initiative in that regard, because again, the whole idea is not for the government to compete with the private sector to be a contractor. We're testing models and seeing how we could get more involved to deliver more sustainable models.
Okay. Someone here, what good teaching. What's the cost you will be looking at concerning the prices of the homes? Are you at liberty to say, or that's something?
Well, it's a big range, and again,
range.
a lot of it is going to determine, well, one, what size of home you're going to need to build. If you're looking at, again, and then of course it depends on the type of land that you have as well. So that's why I was making the point earlier. The specific model that you're going to have in Dunfermline may not be representative of what that may look like if we're scaling it on a much larger scale, and we're still fine tuning all of the little details of all of the costs are still coming in. But it's going to range. Obviously, if you get a smaller home, a 2-bedroom is not going to cost the same as a 4-bedroom, right? So when you look at the website, you have homes from just over 800 square feet to up to 1,500 square feet plus. So of course, the price per square foot is going to differ. So you're looking at homes. We're trying to assess homes from the 200,000 range and up, at least. But there are other housing initiatives that we're also considering to continue to bring the cost down. Even make it so you can put a 1 in front of that number for a house. But again, all these things have to be evaluated thoroughly.
Now, for those someone just tuning in terms of the tour, just quickly let them know how they can sign up to.
Right. So sign up on the website. So you can look for us online or socials. Just type in Project 500. Go to the website, register. It's important to register because the tours are going to be by appointment only. Because of course we have to have crews who are ready to provide the tours, give the proper information, and then more importantly, have you fill out the forms, because that form is what is going to guide the policymakers' decisions going forward. So it's important that we do the tours in a very orderly fashion, and we're able to collect the data as well, which the data will then guide us moving forward. So again, it's just we understand enthusiasm. We have done a lot of marketing showing how great these homes look. It is a fantastic initiative for affordable housing. And we understand that, there's a lot of individuals who want to partake, but we have to do it in an orderly fashion. And we look forward to getting to everybody. We will run the tours as much as we need to ensure that we're able to serve everybody.
Yeah. Someone here
or as many people as we can. Yeah.
Someone's also saying we hope that this is an initiative that can be expanded into other parishes.
Yes.
So that people will have a choice of where
That's
they would
correct.
like to.
That is correct. You're naturally expanding it with your own land. And if we're looking at, again, we mentioned before, if they're going to if a developer, not a developer, but a private person with lots of land would like to include their land, do a partnership, a PPP with the government of Grenada, we could do it there. Government of Grenada, I'm going to look for other land and then opportunities.
Other crown lands that will be suitable.
That's correct. So we are looking at that right now. We also have to be mindful we're not just taking our agricultural land either. And just in because we also have to feed ourselves, right? So we also have to do that responsibly.
But finally, what message would you like to share with Grenadians about Project 500's role in securing homes, dreams, and future?
Well, I think it's a great initiative again from the Prime Minister's office, led by him, and the initiative from the administration. That this is one of his transformational projects for the administration, and we're key on delivering this. And again, it's a great opportunity for Grenada, where we are trying to lead the way in a project of this nature. We have done it pretty quickly. It's got off the ground pretty quickly again, because, again, the issues with construction in Grenada, sometimes it can take a little while to get things sort of moving, and especially with it being run through the government, it does take a little while sometimes. But that said, the project, had a little bit of delays here and there, which is natural in construction. But I think overall it flowed pretty well. The team at Housing Authority did an excellent job. All other consultants, the PR firms have been working on this. They've been doing a lot to ensure that they get the message out, give people the information as best as we can, communicate it once we have the information. And we're trying to put Grenada on the map, right, regionally as well, because once this project is successful, I'm sure that there'll be others who'll be looking to do the same across the board. But more importantly, this is really a project for the people of Grenada, to really help them have a home, a fantastic home, an energy efficient home, and a home that's built for the future, that then again they can continue to build wealth on, and they can remain very safe in.
Yeah, and I like the fact it's not just four walls thrown together.
No.
I love the designs. The bay leaf is one of my favorites, and it's standalones, and it's almost like a really nice community.
That's correct.
That you get to are the first ones in this community. It's a really, really nice initiative, and like I said, it's really, really well put together. All the thought that went into the designs, you can see it was not just something done today for today, but well planned, well thought out.
There's a lot of thought and heart that went into it. There's a lot of heart that went into it, and you can sort of feel that as well when you go to the site. You can see that there's not just, they didn't just slap walls together, as you said. They really took their time to design it, understand how you would live in your home. And I think that's what's important. So, I mean, I think it is commendable for a government project that is not just about just giving you a roof over your head, but making sure that you have somewhere that's very comfortable. And when your friends and family visit you from overseas, they're like, wow, this is a beautiful home.
And the thing is, it takes away so much stress from you. You don't have to be running up and down behind nobody. That's
the idea.
Your stress, you're just, hey, here's my funding, do the work.
That's the idea. And that's what we're trying to get to. But of course, getting to that point means a cultural shift. And it means it's not going to be easy. It means that it's going to come out a lot of roadblocks and it's going to be tough sometimes.
Work ethics have to change as well.
But we have to be determined. We have to be resolute. We have to be focused. And that is what we're going to be doing moving forward. Because it's there's a lot of interest, as you see, there's a lot of natural interest, and we are focused and dedicated, totally committed to delivering this and ensuring that we move forward with the feedback that the Grenadian public has provided to us, because again, it's for them.
Well, thank you so very much for joining us today and sharing insights into Project 500. And I know it's exciting to see the government taking such a proactive step in transforming, housing in Grenada. So thank you so much for sharing. And of course, listeners, remember you stay tuned for updates. And remember that Project 500 is not just about building homes, it's about building dreams, securing futures. So it is something that you have to look at seriously. And remember, for more information, for you to get one of those tours, to make your to book your tour, you have to go to the website. That's project500.gd. Register, and all the information is there. If you want to see some of the models, it's also there. So it's everything. It's like a one-stop shop. It's really well put together, that website. All the and it's easy to navigate as well. Sometimes websites have you jumping all over the place. It's really, really easy to navigate. So it's an awesome project. Last word, are we good to go?
No, I think that's it. It's ultimately it's Christmas time. It's time to be festive, but at the same time, the gift of a brighter future is what we're trying to deliver here, in that sense. And when we're looking at Project 500 is one of the key initiatives. We also have the new hospital project, Project Polaris, which is also in the pipeline. We also have a lot of development in tourism coming. So ultimately, why we're seeing all of that, and then also I'm going to add an important one: skills training, in addition to energy, and that's important because it's about raising the bar collectively for everyone. No one feels like they're getting left behind, and that's the key message moving forward: is that we have to rise together as a people. We don't want others to feel like there are individuals coming in and they're benefiting and we're not. We are collectively rising together.
Definitely. Folks, thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you for asking your questions. Hi, Aruna, I've got a question. Are they interested in new ideas, meaning designs from the diaspora, etc., kitchen, bathroom, and living space?
Always interested in new ideas.
Always interested in
new
ideas.
They can send information to us, and we can also continue to explore it, because again, once we get through the evaluation stage, which is where we're focused now, we're going to be looking at moving this on and seeing how we could always improve, make things better.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you to all those of you on the live as well. And those of you who sent in your questions, you're listening via radio or online. Thank you so very much for tuning in, and hope to have you back again soon. And if we don't, have a great season.
I look forward to being here, and season's greeting to you and all of your viewers and listeners. Thank you again
so much. All right, guys, have a good one. See you all tomorrow for the final one for the week.
Ladies Room comes to you compliments of Renwick and Thompson Limited, Beacon Insurance, Harry Edwards Jewelers, and 10 years, one station, Power 95, a decade strong. From day one to year 10, still your number one. Grenada's heartbeat on the airwaves. We didn't follow the culture. We built it. Your music, your station, your power. "10 years loud, proud, and trusted." Power 95, a decade strong.